What's going on, Jeromes? Happy Monday out there, everyone, everywhere. Daily Jeromes live stream coming at you Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. Central-ish time. We got a bunch of Q&A. We got a lot of stuff going on. Thank you very much for coming along and making us part of your day. First one, Robert Barweiler. Is there any hope for Vikings fans that if Trey Lance is there at 14, the Vikings would actually take him? I think that there is a chance. I think that there's a shot. Help, maybe even Mac Jones at 14. I would disagree with it, but I would understand it. Where since the Vikings, yes, they don't have a second round pick, but they're loaded up. They have 2/3. They're going to have 4 fourths. They're going to have 2 fifths and 2 sixths. So I think that if the right situation presents itself, that the Vikings could potentially go that direction since they have so much backup in this draft. And this is a pretty damn deep draft in terms of positions of need for the Vikings: defensive tackle, interior offensive line, wide receiver. So they certainly could, safety. So they could go that route. And that goes for, say one of the top tier wide receivers drops, where it's not first tier need per se, but you're not going to pass up on value just because it doesn't fit into your crib sheet, especially since you have so much other draft capital going on. Hunter Williams, Skull from Savage, thank you for making the best Vikings video. Thank you. Were the Vikings robbed in the 2020 draft? Oh, in the rankings? Yes, they were. Durs can't do this. Say you're being attacked by a bear and need to be protected. Are you taking 3 Chad Beebes or 1 Danielle Hunter? Well, even though Danielle is a friggin' beast, he's not going to be able to stand up 1-for-1 against the bear. So this is sort of a non-starter. But I will take 3 Chad Beebes in the hopes of, so we can scatter or we can just serve up one of the Chad Beebes, since there's 2 other ones to the bear. Because once that bear gets a meal, we'll have a better shot. We will. Where I feel like, actually, as weird as it sounds, I feel like Danielle is faster than Chad Beebe. Actually, let's look that up. Let's see. Mock draftable Danielle Hunter. So this is sick. I mean, this is a Jason graph. It's good. So his 40 was a 4.57. Oh, I think he might have a shot. Mock draftable Chad Beebe. Let's see. Chad Beebe Pro Day. Chad Beebe's 40. 4.68. Wow. Wow. I kind of knew it. I kind of felt it in my bones. I'm gonna put that out to the people. That's good stuff. 40 times. Hunter. Plus, it's really sickening how fast Danielle Hunter is at that size. And it just speaks to Jason Oweh, because they're similar sizes. And if Jason Oweh can legitimately pull a sub 4.40, I mean, how ridiculous is that? 40 times. Man, that's gross. That is gross, man. Get out of here. So, yes, I will take 3 slower than Danielle Hunter, Chad Beebes. Samson Romaine. In what scenario are you drafting Morig? He's a great player, plus hashtag chemistry with Gladden in the secondary. If you trade back, like if you end up in the 20s, I'm very comfortable taking Morig. But at 14, that is tough, because it goes against exactly what we said earlier about taking a quarterback or wide receiver, and safety is going to be a position high for Morig, And, we've seen the hyperbole. Oh, is Morig the next Jamal Adams? Well, stylistically, they're completely different players. But let's see, at what stage would it shock me where Morig goes? I think if he goes before 20, and I'm not saying that the Bears are taking a safety, although they are probably going to move on from Gibson. Morig and Cheeseburg Eddie Jackson would be a nice pairing. But yeah, I'll say, like, if he is drafted in the teens, that will really surprise me. Brady Doran. Thoughts on trading down maybe 10 slots in the first round, picking up a 2021 second round pick and 2022 second round pick, and drafting Mac Jones, assuming he is still there, available at 24. So you're trading down. Who's at 24? The Steelers? Well, who are they trading up for then? Because you would think if the Steelers are trading up, they're probably trading up for Mac Jones. And I don't think that Mac Jones is going to get past the gauntlet of Washington at 19 and the Bears at 20. But theoretically, yes. And Hell, where the Steelers pick? Well, late second round. Yeah, I would do that trade. Taking Mac Jones out of the equation, but just moving down, recouping a second round pick, and then getting a future second rounder. Yes. The Dark Knight. Favorite music artist / band? It's a good looking question. So when we're working or if we're doing like content stuff, we'll just put on some Zeppelin because I think it's good background music. Also, it can fire up at sometimes too. That's good. Or Foo Fighters. Let's say Zeppelin or Foo Fighters. Somewhere there. Also, I do like the Rolling Stones over the Beatles. Like, I understand the Beatles' impact on the history of music. I get why people like the Beatles. I just like the Rolling Stones better. Just personal preference. Number 2, would you be open to trading up to 3 for Zach Wilson if the Jets opt to go in a different direction? Yes. So, yes, the Dolphins at 3. Yes, I would. It's going to take a lot, but I would. Westworld, remember Will Sutton? Thought he'd be a great depth piece, and then he disappeared. Yeah, Will Sutton, defensive tackle. Where was he? I keep wanting to say that he's from Oklahoma State, except that's not. That's Eddie Sutton, the basketball coach. Because I think Sutton was a former Chicago Bear defensive tackle. I think he wore number 90 for the Vikings. He was a good dude. Arizona State. Yeah, in camp with the Vikings 2017. Just didn't work out. Yeah, 3rd round pick. Damn, Gina. Next up is Rohan Kumar. So yeah, the kid really likes shoveling the walkway, and then he'll set off the Ring doorbell, which is kind of funny. It's a cute kid. Anyway, Rohan Kumar from the UK with Minnesotan heritage, but I am from the UK with Minnesotan heritage. All right, but only come every 2 years. What do I need to try next time to get the full Minnesotan experience? I don't know, scraping off your car, having to move your car because the lot's getting dug out or alternate side parking. See, Minnesota experience, I guess Mall of America, that's par for the course. I go into the Spoon and Cherry thing, even though as a lifelong Minnesotan, I've never been to the Spoon and Cherry. It's weird. Depends on what time of year you come, but I would say go to a Twins game or go to a Wild game. Yeah, obviously go into a Vikings game too. But Minnesotan experience. Oh, I always suggest this to out-of-town people. Get on the train. You get on the blue or green line and just go up and down. So you go from St. Paul, the capital, all the way to Target Field on the trains, and then you stop along the way. There's a bunch of great restaurants there, a bunch of bars. Or just go on the Nicolay Mall, which is downtown. It's about, I'd say, like 6 blocks away from US Bank Stadium. Like, it's in between US Bank Stadium and Target Field, and a bunch of really great bars down there. Well, hopefully they're still open. Who knows after the Rona? But great bars, good restaurants, and I just got to win the day there. Other than that, what else is there? I don't know. Apple picking. It's very Minnesotan. Oh, tubing or going up Norte. Certainly Minnesotan. Rohan Kumar again. I really feel that the worst thing we can do is draft pick at 14, trade up or trade down, but not at 14. No, there's going to be some really good value there at 14. Now, I understand the trading down part, especially if the quarterback falls. Teams will want to get ahead of not only New England at 15, but also Washington at 19, Chicago at 20. Could be in on quarterback. But, yeah, if you're at 14 and Darisaw is there, or Pay, or Rousseau, or Aziz, or Barmore, just take him. Bruce Robinson Jr., what would you do if the Vikings pull a trade all their picks to move to get number 1 pick for Trevor Lawrence? Well, it'd have to be more than that. So it'd have to be like all the Vikings picks this year and then probably a first next year and then probably a first after that. If they did that, I'd be okay with it, to be honest. Where I understand lots of draft picks, lots of tickets in the raffle, but God, what was the draft? Like, was it 2017? Must have been. Where I was all in on 2016 on trading all of the Vikings draft picks to get up to 5. Was it 5, right? Yeah, 5 for Jalen Ramsey, because I thought he was that good of a player, and people thought we were crazy at that time. So, but the Vikings picked up. Oh yeah, 2016 was a bad draft. So the Vikings picked up Treadwell, Mack was solid for 4 years, but he left. And then Willie Beavers, yikes. Cantrell Brothers, Morris Jerome, Ezekiel Boringer, David Morgan. It's unfortunate with that knee. And then Weatherly and J-Ron. So you're telling me that you wouldn't trade all of those for Jalen Ramsey? I would. Yeah. But I don't think you're going to see many Mike Ditka-esque trades anymore. It's funny to me, though. Next up is double BB88. Does pineapple belong on pizza? I think you put on whatever you want to. I mean, we're on this rock for a brief moment in time. Like, don't waste a second, judging how other people get their rocks off on their pizza. Nah. And between Die Hard 1 and Die Hard 2, which is more of a Christmas movie, I've never seen Die Hard 2, so by default, I'll just say 1. Hey, let us know where you're watching from and give a couple shout-outs. Let's see here. Oh, we got a couple. Harvey Melber. Would you be down for Sutton? 2021 second and conditional 2021 second could be first for Kirk and 2021. So I'm guessing this is Denver. So Cortland Sutton and the second. I would do that. Pulford Skull. What would you do with pick number 9 if the traded Kirk to Denver, package 9-14, move up? Yes, I would move up and secure Zach Wilson. I would make it happen. Like, go to the Jets, be like, hey, we'll give you 9-14 and whatever change. Well, let's look at the trade chart. All right, so the chart says, what does the chart say? So 2,600 for 2. So 1,350 plus that, so 2,450. So 9-14 and let's see, we need $1.50. See, 9-14 and 90. That'd be close. Yeah, 9-14 and 90. 9-14 and 78. We'll say that. To go up to 2, I would do it. Yes, absolutely. Next up, a couple shout outs. Steve Patton, Skull from Lakeville, South Metro representing. What up? Purple Rain, Skull from Wausau, Wisconsin. Patrick Harms, Cedar Rapids, Iowa in the house. Miles, Skull from Denver. Brock Swanson, Skull from Casson, Minnesota. Casson is where I think they have McNeely as Steele. Or is that Manorville? Doesn't matter. Alexander Bolton, Skull from St. Paul. What up? What up? Thanks for coming along. Make it as part of your day. Next up, Christopher Frost. How many trade backs do you think we can get for 14 to the end of the first, beginning of the second rounds? As many as you want. Possibly trading out of the first round. Where would you love to have a hangover of picks, second or third round? I actually feel like there's going to be a ton of value in the third round. Where it seems counterintuitive, but if you gave me the choice of 2 high second round picks or 4 late third round picks, I'll take the third round picks. Ethan Griffith. Why can't our guy Oli Udoh be the right guard of the future? Dude's a monster right tackle, but unfortunately is our best O-lineman. He's behind our best O-lineman. Yeah, I mean, that is fair. And there was a moment where he was getting right guard snaps after Samia got hurt because they were splitting snaps between Ezra and Oli at that right guard spot. Now, it was probably a sham competition, but the fact that they were willing to kick him inside, I think does speak to Oli Udoh. And Oli's a great athlete. He tested better than Samia, I believe, in short area quickness and explosiveness. Plus, he's got the best anchor, so it would make sense why in year 3 he should be getting into that right guard competition, especially if they do keep Ezra at guard. I would prefer to move him to left guard. So, yeah, get Oli in there. Zeke Lockhart. Number 1, have you ever had a fart so stinky that wakes you up in the middle of the night? No. You think that it would just keep you asleep. Number 2, Metrodome or TCF Bank or US Bank. Personally, I love the TCF outdoors. Such a good experience. I really like the Vikings games outdoors at TCF, especially before they got the heaters in. So after the dome collapsed in 2010, so Brett Favre out there bouncing around off the cement hard ground or is frozen. But yeah, those TCF Bank games are fun. Like the Teddy to Jarius Wright 80 yards in overtime against the Jets. That was a fun experience. But nostalgia, I gotta go with the dome. Just being a kid, that was the first stadium they went to. Like as a kid growing up, you thought that, wow, this is the greatest architectural achievement in human history. And then you're like, you grow up, it's like that place was a dump. It was, but it was our dump. Yeah. A couple more shouts. Joel Lopez, go from Rhode Island, Schlancha. Mark Sonnenberg, Rhinelander, Wisconsin. Hunter Williams, Forest City, Iowa, as well as William Reed, Chico and the man, coming from CA. What up? Next up. Number 3. Did you see the outdoor Lake Tahoe NHL games, Colorado and Vegas? I thought they canceled it. Pulford Skull. Would there be any sense of tagging Harris and trading him to Cleveland for OBJ? No. I think I don't want to take on the salary. Plus, I think Cleveland's going to cut him unless his injury guarantee kicked in. But no, tagging Harris, I don't want to play that game of chicken because I don't think any team is going to trade for him. Joshua Queen. Does Jerome have a mailing address? Obviously, a P.O. box. I don't know, probably. We'll have to ask producer Allie. My wife and I watch every day. Hey, awesome. Shout out to the missus. Pretty sure my boss hates me. Wait, is the wife the boss? That would make sense. P.S. If they wear Packers there, push them down. Age is relevant. Nah, violence is never the answer. But thanks for coming along. Patrick Harms. Who has a better chance to return to the Vikings, Weatherly or Griffin? Probably Weatherly. Even though I think Everson has more talent at this stage at their respective stages of their career. But Everson went a little bit too far with the Kirk Cousins' ass. Thank you. Mason Z, what is your dream car? So I've never been a car guy. So I've always been more of a, hey, get something reliable, get you from point A to point B. Like I've never really jones for like a Mercedes or like an old school muscle car, like a Charger or a GTO or anything like that. But I don't know, like I just like vehicles that are efficient, that are safe, and because like even so we're comfortable, but like even say I'm a deca millionaire in the future. Yeah, I'm still not going to buy a new car because I understand that, the value of a new car, like that sweet spot, pick up a 4 or 5 year old car. Its depreciation is already pretty much eaten out because any car that you buy, minus like a collector, classic car, is going to depreciate in value. I mean, it just is. So you just throw money down a hole and you only have one ass, so you can only drive one car at a time. So I don't know, I guess dream car. I don't know, like a 5-year-old CTS, like a Cadillac or I don't know, Lexus or a Lincoln. So I don't know, like a nice car, but not a hoopty, but also don't have to be balling out of control. Like people spend $80,000 on a brand new car that's going to be 45 in a year. Nah. Jeff Mom. Plus they lease it. Nah. Jeff Mom. Do you think the Vikings should draft Devontae Smith if he falls 14? Yes. Ben Bauman, Andy, if you had the power to change the name of one NFL team, what team would it be? What would you name them? I would change the Packers name to the Greasy Grimy Green Bay Packers. But first I would trademark it and get paid. That's how you become a deca millionaire. I think the Washington football team should stay the Washington football team. I think that's kind of cool. It's a throwback to, it's a shout out to soccer teams where it's like, I finally watched Ted Lasso. That's an amazing show. I did not expect that to be as good as it was, but wow. Like I expected, over the top like the NBC, sketches or commercials were, but it was a really, really good show. And you don't have to know anything about soccer to enjoy it. It was good. But there, it was like, FC City or, their AFC Richmond, which is Richmond's a well-to-do suburb of London. So Association Football Club. So yeah, WFT, Washington Football Team. Why not? But team name I would change. Well, the Chiefs will probably get pressure to change their name, and what would you call it? The Kansas City Racks. Shout out to the Ribs. Let's go. We're pretty good. Racking, stacking them up. So what team name sucks? Texans is kind of a dumb name. Well, there's been 2 Texans. The Chiefs were the Texans originally. Let's see. Falcons, Bucks, Dolphins. Jaguars pretty good. Actually, I feel like all the names are pretty good. Yeah, I don't think I would change them. Jake Lagavin. Would you consider a package of Dalvin and some picks for Watson? Something similar to the Panthers supposedly doing according to McCaffrey. No, except we like Dalvin. We didn't massively overpay for Dalvin like they did with McCaffrey. So you don't have buyer's remorse there. And I don't think the Texans will be interested. Like, they're mainly interested in McCaffrey because they'll get extra draft capital out of it like the Lions did taking on Jared Goff. So I would consider it, but I don't think the Texans would go for it. Husker in Enemy Territory podcast. Oh, so isn't Iowa sorta Nebraska territory, especially on the west end? It doesn't matter. If the Vikings trade, you're telling me if you live in Council City, Iowa, or Council Bluffs, Iowa, that you're not a Cornhusker fan. But if the Vikings trade a player for draft picks, who do you see as the most likely player? Reef, Barr, or Rudy? Probably Reef, because I think that he has the most utility in terms of trade value because his contract is reasonable. Played his best season of his career last year, to be honest. And yeah, I think that he will be marketable. Barr, Rudy, nah. Banyai Catalan. I think I nailed it. Do you think there's anything in these media reports last week that there is now a difference of opinion between the front office and footballing side on Kirk Cousins' future? I did not see anything, but I think that the divide was there to begin with. I think that Mike Zimmer was very lukewarm on Kirk Cousins. I think that the front office and ownership were all in. So I don't think that's I didn't see the report, but if they did report that, I don't think that's anything new. Chris Danny Hansen. Do you think the best case scenario for the Vikings trading down is if a top quarterback falls and teams want to leapfrog the Pats? Yes, and Washington and the Bears as well. Oh my. Griffin Career, tough question. If you had to root for the Saints or Eagles for the rest of your life, who would it be? I mean, probably the Eagles. Where Eagles fans, like, I know that Eagles fans, Vikings fans don't like them because of 38-7. And, Vikings fans, we were in Philadelphia and they were swearing at us and they threw beers at us. Catch the beer and drink it. Because it's probably a, what's it called? God, what's that good beer? Now it's going to bug me. Yingling. Yeah, there you go. So catch it and drink it. Who cares? Also, I mean, they're drunk Eagles fans who probably didn't even make the traveling squad for their 5th grade baseball team. So it's not like they're going to hit you. I always stand with my Minnesota fan brethren, but I feel like there's a lot of pearl clutching going on during that time. So I would pick the Eagles. Where the Eagles aren't going to be good for a long time. And the Saints, what the Saints did is unforgivable. It is. They cheated the game. And Eagles, if they bring back the Kelly Green uniforms, it's easy to do. Joel Lopez. Also, the Eagles' history, I mean, there's a lot of self-loathing involved in there before they won the Super Bowl. So I could get on board with that because that's one of the big reasons why it's fun to be a Vikings fan because of the history. Like it's bring it back to soccer, football, the English Premier League, the EPL when Leicester City won in 2016 when they're like 200-1 dogs. Like it's fun. It is. So always being the underdog, it's great. Griffin Career. Plus, I can't root for Sean Payton. No. Joel Lopez. Do you think if the Vikings don't win the Super Bowl next year, we should fire Zimmer? Yes. Yeah, I think that 8 years is enough time. Westworld, over-under 1.5 draft day trades with the Broncos. Probably under. Where, familiarity does help, but also you're not going to let your buddy get one over on you. So, yeah, I don't think that Peyton and Spielman would, be buddy-buddy. But maybe they'll do one trade, so hence we're taking the under. Chris Danny Hansen, likelihood Vikings trade down in the first round. I'd say 45%. Go for audio greatness. Over under 3.5 trades in the first round. Total? Way over. So there might be like 6. Michael Merchant Robbles. I want Greg Rousseau at 14 so bad. If we do, I think he will record 6 to 8 sacks. Hopefully that's in the first half of the season because we want more. DG. Do you consider the extra bombing shots Derek Lewis threw after his initial KO of Curtis Blade Saturday blind fury, fair game, or just plain as move? Well, so I thought about this for a while. So if you didn't see the fight, so Derek Lewis caught Blades like really flush with an uppercut when Blades was shooting for a takedown. He was out. He was out cold, flat on his back, and then Lewis was able to get in 2 more shots before they stopped it. But I think part of it is because Derek Lewis, it's hard to say, hey, immediately turn it off. And there's a lot of adrenaline going. And in the middle of the fight, a lot of things going on. You're fatigued. You're hyped up. You just got your shot. So now you want to make sure that you put away the fight because you've seen fights before where a guy thought that he had the knockout shot and then it just kept going, right? But, I mean, Blades was out. OWT out. And part of it, so I saw that people were giving Herb Dean some flack, the ref. Herb is the GOAT. Like him and Big John, legends, right? But Herb didn't have a good angle. So he was behind. Like I don't even think that he saw Blades take that shot when he was shooting. So it could have just been that Derek Lewis defended the takedown attempt, which probably unlikely given Derek Lewis. But he just knows that Curtis Blades ended up on the ground. Where if it had been like if they're both standing and then Blades took a shot and then went down, Herb gets in there. But the fact that he had a bad angle on it at the time, and then reaction time, a little bit tough. So, I mean, could have been stopped after 1 shot. Yes. 2 was a little bit gratuitous, but also I think you have to factor in. So in MMA, there's fighters and then there's martial artists, and Derek Lewis is definitely a fighter, right? He's definitely like a brawler, understandable. Whereas I think if you had a martial artist, like say you had Silva or GSP or John Jones in that spot, I don't think that they go for that second hit. Like I think that they understand that. Well, hell, they probably understand from the first hit that it's out. But the first shot on the ground, I think that's it. But yeah, I think it's just unfortunate cacophony, and hopefully Blades recovers from this. Is gonna be good to go. But yeah, Derek Lewis. That's a good fight, man. Where they need to try and get Lewis and Ngannou back together again. I understand that the first time around was the most boring fight in the history of fights, but God, that'd be great. And I know that Lewis is calling out Overeem, but no, that was not going to go because Overeem's jaw was gone even before Ngannou sent him to the moon. So, but Derek Lewis, John Jones, that would be pretty good. That would be pretty good. Although John Jones, Stipe is going to be great too. Miles, who is the Vikings X factor on offense and defense 2021? Offense, whoever ends up being the guards. As they go, so goes the offense. Well, I guess we'll just go interior offensive line as a whole. So I guess maybe Bradbury. Defense. Yeah, that 3-tech spot is going to be really important. Both for stopping the run and both for getting some semblance of interior pass rush. Because as bad as the edge play was last year, the defensive interior pass rush was completely pathetic. I think what they totaled maybe 2 total sacks. Because, yeah, Jaleel had 1. And James Lynch had 1 too. I think that might have been it. Vikes highlights HD. This isn't a question, but I met Daddy Alexander Madison Day. Awesome. Miles, who will be the most surprising and disappointing Viking in 2021? Most surprising, James Lynch. Free him. Actually, James Lynch or Kyle Hinton. Kyle Hinton coming in. Ooh, stealing that starting spot. Most disappointed Viking in 2021? I don't know. Anthony Barr. John Anderson TV. More often than not, I struggle mentally as a Vikings fan due to our tendency to mess things up. How do you manage to keep so positive? I really admire that. Your content makes being a Vikings fan easier. Well, hey, thank you. Being positive, I don't know. I feel like in life it's just really easy to be jaded. And like if you're always looking for a banana peel to slip on or always looking for something to be offended by, you'll find it. But if you're also always looking for the positive things in life and trying to skew towards the good, I mean, you'll find that too. And at the end of the day, it's just football. It's not going to change your life. Tony Levins, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Hopefully with a dozen Jerome Bardys, as well as on a large pile of money. That is all. And also, hopefully, still in good health. Mike Wigg, Blair Walsh or Dan Bailey? Specifically, the Vikings careers, I'll go Blair Walsh. Well, 2012 Blair Walsh was a nail driver, man. He was a stud. Dan Bailey has had, 2 of the 3 years he's been a Viking, he's been the least accurate kicker in the NFL. 75% in 2018, like 68.4 or 3 in 2020. Now, Samson Romaine. Is there any proven player that you would trade the number 14 overall pick for, similar to how the Colts traded for DeForest Buckner in the sense that he is still on his rookie deal, but is a solid player? I would trade 14 for Jeffrey Simmons. Stud. Absolute stud. Defensive tackle for the Titans. But I think they're going to want to hang on to him. Ethan Griffith. Geno Atkins for 14. Who says no? Everyone. A, they're going to cut him. B, he's old. C, no. Skull Zone. Vikings get Orlando Brown Jr., 2022 fifth. Ravens get 14 overall and a third. Skull or no? I'd say cut out the ancillary picks. So Orlando Brown Jr. for 14, I would do that. Yeah, they're going back to that, trading for a proven player. Yes, I would do that. 1,000%. Play him at left tackle, pay him, and then move on with life. That's it. That is the Daily Jeromes live stream. Hey, stop spamming. That's the Daily Jeromes live stream for today. Back tomorrow. Skull, production value.